We're on. This is Richard Nikoley at freetheanimal.com. I've got my coffee. It's a new thing I just got, Nescafe Gold. It's, doing like fresh ground and everything is too much of a problem here, especially if you move around a lot. Plus, I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, this stuff is, as you can see, super finely ground. It's like that instant coffee you get in the packets that you can get at Starbucks, that it just dissolves. It's so finely ground. And those are pretty good. About the closest thing for an instant coffee you can get to freshly ground. It's good. It's good. There's another one made by them that's called Americano, and it comes in individual packets, just like the Starbucks ones, and it's good too. I thought I'd try this. So here we go. Now, what's the subject of this video? It's are you tired and discouraged? Maybe I can help. There's a background here. I know somebody who's in there. I'm not going to be specific. It's somebody I've known for a while. I'm going to tell you whether it's a woman or a man, what country they live in, but I've known them for a significant time and enough personally that I know the stuff that this person does. And I got a message last night. It's like, I'm tired, I'm discouraged, yada yada. And I thought about it, especially the word discouraged. And everybody gets tired, but discouragement is something that happens to all of us, and it can be a good sign, because if you are discouraged, it means that you're at least trying to do something and it's not quite working out for you, and so you're discouraged. So you that's information, and you have to make a decision, like, okay, do I stop what I'm trying to do and go do something else, or do I double down, or do I figure out what's making me discouraged and fix that? And in other words, onward. You have to press forward. You're not gonna end in defeat. So if if you're too susceptible to that, you may want to not watch this video, or you may want to pay close attention. Right? I think I can help. The person I'm talking about is about 30 years old, and so I thought, what was I like when I was 30? And then compare that to the behavior that I see, the attitudes and the efforts. Everybody dreams of making it big in some way or another. Almost everybody, right? So that's a trait, right? Few actually do. And big can be relative, right? Big for one person isn't big for another. Money is different. But before I get into that, let me say that the reason I thought I could help is because, I'm 61. So this person, I've got on them 31, 32 years more of just raw years, right? And you don't really learn much of anything until you're 10. Before then, it's like, don't touch the hot stove and that sort of stuff, right? Be careful of the snake, be careful of the dog, and all of that, right? It's, when you get to be about 10 is when you're starting to think and integrate stuff and learn from mistakes and move on. So really, this person has, let me get back and the sun is coming up. It's early still here. It's like, I've been up since, there we go. I've been up since 4 in the morning. It's pretty common to me, maybe 4:15 this morning. Yesterday was like 3:30. It's just how I am now. Coffee and go. I just like doing stuff like this. And I did this video. I did a personal video to this person using photo booth, and I thought, why don't I generalize that and put it in a video for everybody? And so that's what I'm doing. And that's how I roll. It's like I get an idea and I set up the camera, and within a few minutes I'm shooting. I kind of like it. So so there's the raw age, but discount the first 10 years. So this person has 20 years of doing stuff and thinking and learning lessons. I have 50, right? And the quality starts coming in, sometime in your mid 20s to mid 30s, where you've really got enough to really think and be efficient and not just tossing shit against the wall. See what sticks, right? So, first of all, the thing is, so many people are money driven, and it's a source of discouragement when the money doesn't come in, or as quickly or as rapidly as you want. This tends to make younger folks in a constant quest for the holy grail of quick and easy money, right? And I had my share of it. You're looking at, depending on what you are, you're a gambler, or you're a person who believes in luck and fortune, so that's your thing. Or you go into illicit activities like drugs, smuggling, theft, doing something that is illegal or highly frowned upon, because that artificially raises the price of that product or service. So you can cash in that way. You can, my thing was business opportunities. And I even had a stage where I thought about gambling, and I developed a pretty cool money management system for craps, the casino game, the dice game, the big table and everything. Which is quite a complex game. But I used it only because it's a 50-50. There's one aspect that's a 50-50, and that is pass or no pass. You can look up the rules. But it's 50-50, whereas like roulette is almost 50-50. But there's that one or two squares, I forget, that are not black or red, that put it at the casino's advantage. So it's not quite 50-50. So that's why I use craps instead of roulette. I have a money management system that has a lot of different rules, and it worked. When I went once to a casino in Reno, I got a hotel room in Reno for a week, and I tracked my money just like it was a business. And I thought, man, if you can do this, I was the capital I had was I was able to bet, $5 and $10 a bet, right? But I'm thinking, well, what if you get up to 50 and 100 a bet, so on. But first you have to show it works. Now, if you just do you can get tables that have random dice rolls, and you can calculate it out. You'll either lose, or it'll be just about even, like heads and tails, or you make this teeny little bit. So that's where the timing and money management and observing the table goes in, so that you get a little bit of an edge, right? So I did it. I made $1,300 net. It's after the hotel and the food, in 1 week. But it took me 10 to 12 hours a day standing at craps tables with all the lights and the ding 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 in the casino. It was awful. Hardest work I've ever done for $1,300. But the thing is that I hated the environment. And I'm like, even if I can get it to where I'm betting $500 chips on a no limit table in Vegas or downtown Vegas, or some select casinos where they don't, but they're going to kick you out if you win big anyway, right? So I'm like, no, this isn't for me. And the worst thing was just standing there at the table and listening to all the bullshit, all the tourists like all the motions, the cargo cult motions that they go to. Look up cargo cult or Google cargo cult motions that they go to give them luck and all this nonsense, right? Anyway, so what I'm saying is I was in this mindset of, if I could just make a lot of money quick and easy, it'd be set. Well, the thing is, money doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make you fulfilled. There's one instance where it does. If you're living in the dirt and squalor, you're improperly clothed and sheltered, you're in the elements, you're hungry, or maybe thirsty for clean water. Enough money to get you a minimum standard of living where you're fed and you're sheltered, that tremendously increases your happiness and well-being. Beyond that, not so much, yet people still try, right? Always on this quest for quick and easy money. And so, in addition to the gambling, I did business opportunity books, bought tons of them, right? And in fact, my success in building a company from a bedroom to 30 employees making $3 million a year was from $89 business book. And the guy who wrote it, I'm still friends with today, and he's a paid member of my blog, freetheanimal.com. So, but here's the thing, it was a unique business opportunity book. It was about being essentially a consultant for businesses and going in and making deals on their debt. They're typically troubled for one reason or another. I didn't touch people that had the marital problems, drug and alcohol problems. My clients were, my clients were people where the market changed in some way or another. And they were small businesses, products and services. My first client was that I got like 3 days after I bought this book and spent the weekend going over and doing my contracts and stuff like that. And I think that was on a Friday. I got the book, and Monday by mid-afternoon I had my first client with a $300 retainer, Dennis. He owned a medical supplies company, and he was in deep shit. And over 2 or 3 years, I probably made $20,000 to $30,000 from him, that first client. But it was hard work. See, that was the thing. That was a different thing. So much of the bullshit, business opportunity stuff that you see out there, it's utter crap and it's utter bullshit and it's lies and it's deceptions just to get you to buy that stuff. So let's talk about that. Because this business, unlike the others, there was no pie in the sky bullshit. It was like, you're going to do this and this and this to get your leads. You're going to cold call these guys. This is how you're going to do it. You're going to go meet them face to face. and you're going to sign up, and then you're going to have to deal with companies this guy owes money to, and you're going to have to convince them to let him off the hook to the tune of 10 cents on the dollar, 20 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar. You think that's easy money? But, oops, the more you do it, for those just listening audio only, I just kicked my tripod, so I have to remember that some people are going to just hear the audio. Now, I just got an email, just as I was setting this up, that I'm now on the whole Google suite of podcasts. So we've got Anchor, Spotify, Google, waiting for Apple and Amazon. And I'll probably just leave it at that, right? Who knows what will come of it, but it's so easy to do. I do the video file anyway, and I just upload the video file to Anchor, and it extracts the audio and does the audio only. Spotify does the video. So you'd be able to see the video on Spotify if you want, and then it'll be on Google, Amazon, and Apple as audio only podcasts. So easy to do. I'm uploading it to YouTube anyway. I upload them at the same time. Boom. No additional work. Same description. So on. Right. Brainless. Anyway, what was I saying? So this was hard. It's a business opportunity, but hard. Contrast that with the serendipity some guy experiences and makes a good amount of money quickly. And the first idea is, well, not to make a lot more money doing the same damn thing and refining it. It is, I got to sell this as a business opportunity, even though it's the most unlikely, uncanny thing to happen. I'll give you an example. Those have been with me for a long time. I still have people who are with me because of my paleo nut or whatever, my post way back in, I think, 2008. In fact, it was like the end of 2008, I believe, or it was like New Year's Eve. And I did this, I was up at my camp and I did this wild ass post. I'm like, yeah, it's been like 6 months or so where I've used no soap and no shampoo. I shower every day, but I just use water, so I write a post about it. And serendipity happened. Boing Boing, and a couple other aggregators or whatever they are. Boing Boing actually wrote an article about my article. I get up on New Year's Day, I think 2009, and or maybe it was 2008. I can't remember. I didn't go back and look. But I look at that and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? I forget the number, but I got well over 100,000 visits in one single day. This is a blog who maybe gets 3,000 to 5,000, was getting maybe 3,000 to 5,000 a month, right? And so that kind of launched me into paleo influencer fame, so on. And I could have capitalized on that, as a lot of people did, writing their books primarily, their cookbooks and all other books. And because of my status, influencer status, I got everything that was coming out. One day, a few years later, 5 years later or so, I had stacks of books in my office that I hadn't even cracked open. Some I thumbed through them, some I read, some I reviewed on the blog, but I said I got to get rid of these things. So I went to a used bookstore in Campbell, California, a fairly renowned one, right downtown and everything. So they gave me one of those book hand trucks, that's a square. I filled 2 of them, and I got $250 for all those books. So I put them to use so somebody could read them. Right, but I could have done stuff like that, but I just really wasn't interested. I had my Amazon link, and I was making at least a few hundred from that, until the whole resistant starch thing came up, and I made thousands of dollars at 7% for a bag of Bob's red mill potato starch. I mean, 1 month I made like $4,000. Now think of the numbers. Think of what a bag of potato starch costs, and I was getting 7% of it for that. I have sold more potato starch as like a non-company or non employee of a company than anybody ever in the history of the world, and I'm sure that record will never be broken. Ooh. So what if I said, hey, yeah, I'm going to turn this into a business opportunity, sell it for, well, first I'll have red letters and tell you it's a $2,500 value, but to buy my ebook just today only, even though it's a digital product, I'm giving it to you I'm giving it away, $30, right? But you have to act now. You have to act now. It's only 1 hour left. And then the offer goes away forever. You'll never be able to get it at this price again. Even though we can serve up 1 copy or a billion copies digitally, and the actual download cost is minuscule. The cost is in setting it up, right? Once you got it set up, it's money in your sleep. Could have done something like that. Why didn't I? Because I just hate that kind of shit, right? And that's what made that business opportunity different. So to move on with this person, I said, I've seen you do this and this and this and this, and you're still in this mentality of big money, quick, low effort. And, and you even buy lotto tickets. So your mentality, what you're doing, you're pretending at business, but it's the same as buying a lotto ticket, right? The same percentage of people hit it in those ways as win the lottery or hit the jackpot or whatever, right? It takes focused, disciplined effort, and then you have a chance at success, right? There's no shortcuts. You are going to be discouraged. You're going to be really tired a lot. I remember when I was building my company, and it took 5 years to go from just being, a one guy in a bedroom to having 1 employee, then finally getting an office, and I had 3 employees. I 2 full-times and a couple of associates, like for sales and lead generation and stuff like that. And in those first days, in those first years, I was often up at 4:30 in the morning, drive into the office. I did my first CRM, because that's customer relation manager or something like that. Anyway, software. Now I'm not much of a coder. So I built that took hours and weeks and everything, using Microsoft Access to do it, and but it worked. I set up all the client server phone systems, not using one of those PBXs, but using the PBX cards in a server computer, because you could control it with software. All this stuff, running the wires myself, everything. So it's 4:30 in the office. Get home by 7. Many days. Right? Tired, and discouragement sometimes, because shit happens in a business, right? And but I'll tell you what, you feel it here, right? And there's no faking it, These guys who make their hundreds of thousands and millions, and then they rent a Lamborghini to go in front of, or they get a a video shoot in front of a private jet and all this hokum bullshit that they do, fakery, to get your money. They don't have a genuine feeling right here. Not like building a real business that's hard and that serves a real need. And I was negotiating debt down for small businesses who would have otherwise closed. So it's preserving that business, preserving jobs for the employees. And another thing, I was stopping that creditor from throwing good money after bad. One of the biggest ways to convince a creditor to let somebody off the hook is like, how much do you know what the average recovery is for a bad debt? It's about 5%. Now, credit card companies spend all that money because of the perception that you can't get out of it, right? But in the end, when you factor in all the bankruptcies and everything else, it's about 5% net that they're going to recover. So why bother? Well, because you have to maintain the perception that it's that you can't get out of it short of filing bankruptcy. All right. But for small businesses who are creditors, you know what happens when a small business gets into problems is they start borrowing from their suppliers. Right? So they order inventory or raw materials, whatever it happens to be, or in some cases services. They don't pay for long enough to where they get put on COD terms, cash on delivery terms, or they're just told to you can't order from us until you pay down your bill, right? So what do? They go find a new supplier. And of course the new supplier is like, oh yeah, come on in, we'll give you credit terms. Net 30, net 60, da, 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 da. And they do the same thing. So by the time you get there, you got 4 or 5 pissed off creditors. But so you gently say, look, you explain the problems and everything. You're honest, what he's been doing, and how this happened and everything. It's like, maybe you're not going to do business with him, but you let him off the hook this time and let him shore up. We've already helped him, he's laid off some employees, reduced his cost. He's, in some cases, I would get clients to dump their lease. Say, yeah, you're going to owe $60,000 on a failed lease, but you're going to go from $15,000 a month in rent, and you're going to downsize. You're going to be in a space $5,000 a month for rent, right? And then I'll settle the lease anyway. $60,000, I'll get you out of that for 20 or less. So that's how it worked. And that was hard. It's really hard, right? It wasn't like all this kind of stuff. Oh, you're going to do this and this and this, and the biggest difficulty is your ad copy, your SEO, and your marketing. Well, that's fucking bullshit. What are you actually producing? That's why I have such a disdain for it. And I have many friends in those businesses, right? And, what are you going to do? All right. So I think that about covers it. And any questions, post a comment, subscribe to the channel. Oh, good news. So my YouTube channel is, my first video was in 2006. So I was saying 13 years. So that is 2006, 16. That is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 17 years old. 17 years. And over that 17 years, I put up probably about close to 200 videos. A little bit less. And I'd accumulated over all of those, over 17 years, just over 1,000 hours of total accumulated watch time. 17 years. So, in the first part of July, so it's been 2 months, July, August, 2 months. 2 months, I put up just about 50 videos. I think it's 51 now. And this will be 52. And I just yesterday crossed the 2,000. So I doubled my listenership in 2 months that I'd done in 17 years, right? By just putting effort into it. Now, will it pay off? I don't know. That remains to be seen, but I have to get another 2,000 to qualify for monetization, and that's where YouTube shares ad revenue with me, or subscription payments for YouTube Premium and stuff like that. So if a person has YouTube Premium and they watch my video, I get a little piece of that. But, so you understand how these people who have like hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of views on their videos can make so much money. People make a lot of money. I'd be satisfied with a couple $1,000 a month. I live in Thailand, where the cost of living is so little. Okay, so recap, you're gonna be tired. If you're on the right track, you're gonna be fucking tired. That goes with the territory. You're gonna get discouraged from time to time, because not everything you're gonna do is gonna turn into a golden egg or a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, or whatever particular metaphor that you want to use. You're gonna get discouraged, but the discouragement is not to make you quit and give up. Sometimes it is. If you're discouraged a lot or too much, if you get chronically discouraged, then perhaps it is time to throw in the towel and do something else, right? But if it's intermittent discouragement, then use it as information. Say, why am I discouraged? Well, because this didn't work out. Well, was it the right thing to do at the time? Okay, if it was the wrong thing to do, then don't do it again. Or it was just not executed properly or not planned properly, right? And it's just, the biggest lesson I have learned since I dropped the drink just over a month ago, the best, most valuable thing I have learned is to keep emotion in check. Really. Keep anger in check. Keep indignation in check. Stop being a moralizer and a judgmental asshole, right? Unless it qualifies as something that rises to self-defense, right? Otherwise, you actually, did that person, with what they did, truly harm me? Do I have bruises or an empty wallet? If not, quit getting upset about it. It's not your fucking business. Right? But if you have some sort of interaction with that person, a personal or business relationship or something like that, it's just information. You stop getting angry and emotional and lashing out and judgmental, and just look at everything as that's information. That's information. Oh, there's information. There's information. Dispassionately evaluate it. And pat yourself on the back for doing the right thing, rather than satisfying your emotions and confirming your biases, right? And you set a better path. So when you get discouraged or emotional about things not working out as you'd hoped, it's information. It's information. Use it. Evaluate it. Be thankful that you have information. It's like the old saying that every experiment is a success. Because either you get the results that you were looking for, or you learn what doesn't work, right? Which is successful. You don't ever have to waste time or money on that again. And with that, I will see you in the next video, which is going to be pretty soon. I'm going to do something political and with COVID and stuff like that. So tune into the channel. YouTube, you know, you find my channel. Just search Richard Nikoley. Nikoley. No C. Richard. Nikoley. Search it. Google it. I've come up everywhere. My blog, YouTube channel, and then we'll have the podcast on Anchor, a video podcast on Spotify, and it's on Google's properties now, and it will be on Apple and Amazon. I don't think I need to go beyond that. You know, that's the big everybody right there. Okay, onward. See you next time.